What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Cronos, The New Dawn, one more time before, I guess, everything just starts happening, right? The game comes out in its deluxe edition early access just tomorrow, or really, I guess, within 24 hours, depending on where and when you are watching this. Remember, doing that digital deluxe pre-order, you would get it 48 hours early, which will be September 3rd. They posted a map, I think, today or yesterday, showing, like, the release times, and it's for Friday. It's for like the full-on release, but they do say it's the exact same times for Wednesday. So like LA being at 7 a.m. Pacific time, right? Or 10 a.m. Eastern time. Same thing if you do the 48-hour early access. So for me, this game unlocks in just 12 or so hours if you do that digital deluxe. And like I said, just want to spend just a couple minutes talking about it one more time. No reviews, which, you know, tends to kind of happen, I feel like, for games like this. Games that have these 2-3 day early access things, I feel like the press normally gets it a few days ago, and then they normally drop reviews like tomorrow. Like when this game comes out in early access, I think that's also when the review scores come out. So hopefully we're pretty close to, you know, seeing high 8s or, you know, whatever the heck this thing gets. But also just honestly, my general excitement has reached an all-time high. I mean, I'm still trying to, well, actually I beat Lost Soul Aside, so there's really no balance there, but still have to go through Metal Gear Solid Delta. I'm going to be starting that and hopefully can kind of balance that with Hollow Knight as well as Cronos. But I'm just so excited for this game. And at the same time, I will say, a little disconnected in the sense of, like, I don't need to see any more. And to be honest with you, I haven't needed to see any more for probably a good, like, month or so. I think there was a lot of stuff that came out of Gamescom. And I mean, I saw the opportunity, or I had the opportunity, like myself, to watch all of these extra, you know, people that were able to play it, and there's like another 30 plus minutes of footage. I was good after the first 30. You know, they have shown multiple trailers. There's been previews of this thing. There's been gameplay, long stretches of gameplay. I think I did like a breakdown of like the 30 plus minute footage a little while ago. Maybe it was like 20 plus minute. Maybe I'm giving it a little too much time, but you know, coming off of Gamescom, there were even more impressions. All of them were very, very high. You know, it feels like a bunch of games tend to win the award of like best games shown off at Gamescom, but I did see people say that this was the I think maybe Jez Corden even said that this was like the standout game from Gamescom. So look, there was more opportunities to watch more stuff on it, but this game has looked good for a very, very long time, in my opinion. I'm just kind of ready, like, well, I'm ready to play it. I'm also ready for, hopefully, like, the story of, like, oh yeah, Bloober Team did it twice in a row. You know, they do the remake for Silent Hill 2, nailed that, and then they make their own IP, and, you know, they've done that before, and, you know, some better than others, right? So I'm really hoping, for their sake, that this is good, just so you can kind of say that story. But then also, you know, as a game, you know, the comparisons of Dead Space and Resident Evil and Silent Hill and really a lot of these classic survival horror games all meshed into one. I mean, if we can freaking get, you know what I mean? Like, I almost feel, because I'm excited for it, but I'm not really thinking about that element too much. If we're like a day or two away from getting like a really nice hybrid of some of these best, I mean, like, I think about, say, Evil Within, which is also, you know, probably a more wacky one, but you see like games that are able to do survival horror and kind of add their own stuff, but also, you know, it feels familiar in the genre. I mean, you have a chance to like do something really special, like have a game that can last for a very long time that we're all very impressed by. So we could just be like a day or two away from having another case of that. You know, another thing people say is like what Callisto Protocol should have been. Now, there's some people that like that game more than others, and to be honest with you, I kind of like that game more than others, but there was definitely some flaws, and I would hope that Cronos is better than Callisto Protocol, to be honest with you. But I mean, that's kind of the feel I had with Callisto, where it's like, oh my dear God, you can add that to, you know, like the Dead Space kind of collection of those type of games. I'm hoping that Cronos, you know, is able to do it. So just really pumped. I mean, September, I've said for a long time, is packed, and I really think, like, looking at it, September and October are huge, but September, I think, just has more potential Hill, and I think it can be just absolutely massive with Hollow Knight, Cronos, and then, you got Borderlands, Dying Light, Silent Hill, all that stuff. And really, this is the first of that group, is it not? You think about October as a horror month, and I think there's a couple, coming on October, but you look at September, and you really do. You have Cronos, Dying Light, Silent Hill, right? Those, and there's more, but those are like the really, really big three, all in September, all a month plus away from Halloween. So, and Cronos gets to be the first one to kick it off. And obviously, look, they're all different. I actually really like that about it. Like you have this game and Dying Like the Beast, like nobody's expecting that to be the same thing as Cronos. It might get talked about in the same breath because it's horror and because it's in September, I guess, right? But like Dying Light is very different than Cronos, and both of those games, well, I guess Cronos, should take some Silent Hill stuff, and it looks like it is, but then Silent Hill F is really trying to do its own thing too, right? So you kind of get an actual Silent Hill thing, and then kind of this, mix and match, with Cronos trying to do a bunch of different things. So super, super excited. I'll be playing it. I don't think I'm doing the deluxe edition thing, although I might be in the running for a review code. So if they give it to me, then I'll be playing it in 8, 9, 10 hours. If they don't, we'll see when I do play it, but I will be playing it, and I'll do videos on it and all that jazz on the channel, okay? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.